Bakari Henderson had his future mapped out. The Austin native was a lifelong entrepreneur. He started his first business in grade school, selling rocks to classmates, and after earning a degree in finance and entrepreneurship from the University of Arizona, he was finally ready to turn his dream of launching an apparel brand into a full-time commitment. He was always headstrong and knew what he wanted to do, Bakari's mother, Jill Henderson, told People magazine. He would set his goals and pretty much they would come to realization. However, not 2 months after receiving his diploma, on July the 7th, 2017, Bakari's promising life was tragically cut short during a celebratory graduation trip with friends on the Greek island of Zakynthos. The vacation started as bliss. We were at this secret cliff diving spot that most tourists have no clue about, says the friend who organised the trip, reflecting on one of his last memories with Bakari. That was just like one of the best days. Then that night, the boys' relaxing getaway turned anything but. According to witness testimonies, Bakari and his friends visited a popular nightclub at the invitation of a Serbian waitress. At one point, the waitress took a selfie with Bakari, who is black, angering a man at a nearby table. A Serb who was beside us approached me, the waitress testified, and told me, "There are so many Serbs in the bar. Why are you talking with a black guy?" The man then slapped Bakari, and Bakari briefly fought back before fleeing. A mob of mostly Serbian men joined the aggressor, chasing Bakari into the street, surrounding him, body slamming him into a parked car, and fatally beating him to death. All the kicks and punches directed at Bakari were to the head in an onslaught that lasted 15 seconds. In a coroner's report, it was noted that Bakari did not show signs of any defensive wounds. The entire incident, beginning with the selfie, was caught on surveillance video. 9 of Bakari's 10 attackers were later identified and charged with intentional homicide in Greece. Of the 9, 6 were convicted on lesser assault charges and 3 were freed. None was found guilty of murder. "We were so proud of him," Bakari's father, Phil Henderson, told People magazine in February 2022. "He had just recently graduated. We sent him off to Greece, and he came back home, dead in a box a week later." Bakari, an experienced traveller, felt safer as a black man overseas, according to his parents. "In the US, you have to prep young black people for all kinds of interactions. I think he felt overseas those rules were not as applicable," said his mother Jill Henderson. "We found that not to be true." It felt like the court system had a part to play in the murder, says friend Chris Vineyard, who first met Bakari in 6th grade. "I mean, the evidence is all there on that footage. How's that not enough?" Fortunately for Bakari's loved ones, a Greek prosecutor agreed. Appalled that the attackers got lenient sentences, if any sentence at all, he quickly ordered a retrial, a rare move that would not be legal in the United States due to double jeopardy laws that prevent people from being tried for the same crime twice. The retrial was scheduled to begin in early 2020, but had been repeatedly delayed, even after Vice President Kamala Harris raised the case with the Greek Prime Minister in February. On the 17th of June 2022, a 5-year anticipation, however, turned into disappointment for the family of Bakari Henderson for the sentences handed down by the mixed jury court of Patras to the 6 accused for the murder of the American in Laganas Zakynthos. The court sentenced the main and 3 others to 8 years in prison, actually reducing their initial sentences. For 2 other defendants, he kept the original sentence of 10 years and 5 years in prison. The only prisoner to date in custody for the murder of Bakari, who was sentenced to 8 years in prison, is preparing to submit a request for dismissal under conditions which will be examined within days by a judicial council and likely to be accepted. None of the accused were found guilty of murder. The American family said they were disappointed by the ruling, and together with their lawyer, they will be examining the possibility of appeal to the Supreme Court in the next few days. However, all lawyers who defended the defendants expressed satisfaction. On the sidelines of the trial, the defense expressed objections and protests about the presence of representatives of the US Embassy in the trial, which they interpreted as a move to put pressure on the judges. Through the announcement of the criminologist, the defendant's lawyer stated, "Today, after an exemplary process of about 2 months, the Mixed Jury Court of Appeals of Patras saved the dignity and independence of the Greek justice and guaranteed the feeling of security of the Greek citizens and their trust in the Greek judges." By a vote of 4-3, the Mixed Jury Court of Appeals of Patras rejected the appeal of the head of the Public Prosecutor's Office of Patras, who at the request of the victim's family and the Vice President of the United States, but also of the American Embassy in Greece, condemned the defendants for the offense of murder intentionally and condemned them for the crime of fatal bodily harm. My clients, 3 18-year-old young Serbs, students, were sentenced to 8 and 9 years in prison and are now free from jail because they already have served their time for good behavior. The crime took place in Zakynthos when a drunken American citizen in a bar in Zakynthos disrespected about 150 Serbs and the Greek public, got into a brawl with a Serb who was having fun there with his girlfriend, and then broke a beer bottle and with it injured the Serb and 2 young Serbian girls in the face and head, and then at least 20 Serbian citizens of various ages with punches and kicks seriously injured him in the head, and unfortunately the American did lose his life.